just to rile Mike up right quick. Hadn't won a championship. Defense can give you a deep ball here and there. Consistently, but you think it's lucky. Victor Oladipo.
DJ Brimlow.
Check. I got something? All right, cool. Z-Star, you there? Check. Z-Star, you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm in here, man.
All right, cool. Just I check for you because I already know Mike's here because Mike shows up. But
what time it is?
Too soon to say if you show up or not. So, yeah. What's good, y'all? What's good? It's your boy, GooseneckxGamer. We back. Glad to be back in the studio. Got family in here with me. King Mike in here with me. Z-Star. Fourth quarter Z-Star's in the building.
Bro, finally got over it. Finally won a fourth quarter game.
Fourth quarter.
I mean, people gonna say, "Oh, it's against JT." I don't give a damn, bro. I got a fourth quarter win. That's all I care about.
Boys got to stop sleeping on JT, man. That custom blitz and that ball control will take out the best of them.
I agree.
Bro, I'm telling you.
We in here. Well, guys, this is the long-awaited episode, right? We previewed this episode, I don't know, a hot minute ago. We let the people know it was coming, and I don't think they believed us. But it's finally here. I'm not sure if it's part one, if we're hitting it all, but it's team or scheme, right? Mike,
yeah,
Mike, jump in the driver's seat.
We doing team or scheme, and we're gonna do it two parts: AFC and NFC.
Okay.
Just so we can make sure we're
so we
highlighting
can get more points. Yeah.
That too.
Okay.
And another caveat we're gonna throw out there is we're gonna try to equate each team with the NBA player counterpart. You know what I'm saying? A current player. You know, and then lastly, what we're not gonna do is we're not gonna highlight teams that are too far below the 500 mark. You know what I'm saying? Because we know it wasn't team or scheme for them. It was just a bunch of L's.
So I can leave? That's what you're saying?
You ain't got to leave. We need you, but we just won't be talking about your team this time around. So,
okay, just my scheme. Okay.
So just as we're here, yeah, it's just your team. We are your team and your scheme, brother.
Okay. All right.
Y'all are here. Are there any questions about what we're doing here? Because we're going to do current players, and then we're just going to discuss each team, and y'all give y'all's hot take on if it was the team itself having them get success to have a 500 or better record, or if that player is just or if that player is just was he gonna do that regardless of what the team?
Oh, this is spicy. Okay,
so
we're gonna hurt a lot of fans today.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe not, you know.
What we'll do is we'll start off with our defending Super Bowl champion. I think this is going to be an easy one as far as team or scheme, and that's Cookie Boy and the Dolphins. Easily, right? That's scheme. That's Cookie taking one of the worst teams and being a good GM and kind of running a very simple offense in that season one with all those jet sweeps and bubble screens and all that kind of stuff just to move the ball down the field and then relying on his defense. So what are y'all thoughts on Cookie Boy and his Dolphins?
Man, I think because I played him year one, and he was doing what he had to get points. And didn't he make the playoffs year one with the Dolphins?
Definitely did.
He won a division. Then
Yeah, he won a division. He got the second seed because that was when I got the first seed. I remember that.
Man, so the Dolphins, if you didn't know, year one, I believe, wasn't Ryan Fitzpatrick the quarterback? No, Josh Rosen.
Yes.
Josh Rosen and Ryan Fitzpatrick with Jakeem Grant, and he had Jakeem Grant make the Pro Bowl.
It was amazing.
So,
yeah,
man. There's no doubt about whether he's team or scheme. He's a great user. I don't think many people would be able to take the 69 overall Dolphins and
so his overall record in season, we're going, what is this? This is season 4, right? We're heading towards the end of season 4. He's 48-14 with a 774 winning percentage, 3 winning seasons. So every season he's had a winning season, 4 playoff wins, 2 playoff losses, and 1 Super Bowl win. So the man's been putting in work. Goose, what do you know about Cook? You ain't played him too much, but you've been able to watch him a little bit from the other side. What do you think?
So now we're going into the team part. or the scheme part?
No, just just
general,
your thoughts on Cookie Boy. Yeah.
For a guy like new to Madden, I guess I won't be able to holler all this next year. But I really have noticed and I've respected his GMing. I haven't done any trades at all and never really thought heavy about it. But now if I had to pull anything out of his playbook, it wouldn't even be play style, bro. It'd be GM approach, like take somebody who looks good and maybe use him for a piece that could be more pivotal. Maybe take a receiver and get a superior offensive lineman type deal, So that's something looking at now. That is like, hey, I'm always trying to figure out different plays. That could be a play that I add to the playbook it's not on the field, but it's just as, if not more important,
For someone like Cookie Boy with the Dolphins, what would he have done with a good team like the Chiefs? Do you think he would be undefeated? Is he mole level, or do you think, he would have still lost? Because that kind of feeds into team or scheme too.
I think he builds the team a different way than he does. Because I've watched some of his videos before. Like he has, just going completely off scale here. Comp is different than Sim, but he's able to use the players he has on his team effectively. Because he's turned Caden Stearns into literally one of the most feared players.
Ronnie Lott.
Yeah. If you ask Bacon about Caden Stearns, he's probably not going to get a response.
He gets scared.
But I feel that the approach he would have taken would have been offensive minded, and he would have been successful regardless. Does
he dominate the league though? Because he's not dominating. He won the Super Bowl, but he's not dominating. Would he dominate the league?
I think he's better on defense than he is on offense. But I still feel like he's still going to be in that top tier, guys. I don't know about domination. I'm just not sure, though, because,
Maybe. I think he knows. I think his passing approach is fairly solid, better than running. I think I could be super off the mark here. But I'll say this. His GM may have been tested a little more with the contract that Mahomes had coming. I wonder how he would have handled that. Not saying you handled it bad. I'm just wondering, GM Cook, how does he approach that contract?
Some would say, having a team like the Dolphins and being able to kind of shape them any way you want might have been to his advantage.
Yeah, he had plenty of money to work with and, guys I don't want to say get rid of, but guys to get rid of, And
then they also had multiple first-round picks, too, from the Tunsil trade. That Houston made earlier in the year. And he's just been able to build guys up and be able to send them out for better guys. Boston Scott for Saquon Barkley, Minkah Fitzpatrick, he turned it into DeAndre Hopkins. It's just kind of crazy what he's been able to do.
Done his thing. I got him NBA counterpart. I want to see what y'all think about this. I got him as Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who could just switch sides, go wherever he's at, and he's going to win no matter what. And he hasn't switched teams, but his team has switched every year because he signed a bunch of guys to one-year deals. Yeah. You know what I mean? So he's had different teams each time, but he's always been successful, and he got him a ring. So Kawhi is mine.
I was thinking about it, and I'm leaning a little bit more towards Steph Curry. And it's in a different sense here because instead of Steph's thing is he weaponizes the three ball and he's a threat every time that he's on the court. You have to guard him full court. For me, Caden Stearns is game breaker. His ability to force fumbles, make turnover plays, interceptions, make you get the ball off the field, cause change of possessions. I feel like he's one of those guys, the success built up over time. Because we know Steph was dealing with injuries early on, and that could be comparable to how the Dolphins were a low-rated team. He had to build them together, but every year, he got better, and then he won a championship. And, regardless of whether he's playing or not, Steph Curry is one of the greatest. He's the greatest three-point shooter of all time. So, with Cookie, with Caden Stearns, every time you play him, that he's gonna impact the game in some way, shape, or form.
Nice.
So that's why I went with Steph Curry there.
What you got, Goose?
Yeah, okay. Now you got me. I didn't see the Steph coming, so you got me second guessing mine.
You know what we? Oh yeah, okay. You got one. Okay, I was gonna say if you don't have one, in the event that you don't have one, you could you could choose between the two options that me and Z start giving you.
Oh, that kind of makes it fun. If I had to choose, I might go Kawhi, because although I think Kawhi has definitely shown us an offensive game, I still think of him as a defensive anchor. You know, not anchor's not a good word, because I think he's on the front line of the defense, but he's kind of the anchor. He's the pivot point of the defense on the front line, though. Like when you hear anchor in basketball, you think of like a big man who's going to hold you down. So I can't call him an anchor. But I was thinking Chris Paul. Fundamental, always deadly. If Chris Paul had at least one ring, then that would help. So he doesn't have one. And because if he would not have won this last one, I think Chris Paul would have been perfect, because he would have made it in the playoffs and then fell out. So that would have been like perfect Chris Paul. But because he does have a championship under his belt, I can't completely call him Chris Paul. But Chris Paul, like some people are like, yo, Chris Paul's fundamental. Then you'll Google a highlight, tape from that season. And he's like, yo, Chris Paul is still saucy. Don't get it twisted. He's very fundamental. But he's still people don't think, when people say scoring point guard, they don't think of Chris Paul. But Chris Paul is still giving you 20, 15, 25. Here's a 30-pointer, and still giving you 13 assists. He's so complete player, because GM is a big part of our league that sometimes we sleep on. I have to give him complete user, including the GM seat. So Chris Paul was my choice.
Okay. Nice. So let's move on to the second best team, tied right now, record-wise. You have the Los Angeles Chargers at 43-19. That is Q with a .694 win percentage, 3 winning seasons. So he's been to the playoffs all 3 times, but he hasn't won a playoff game. He's 0-3 in the playoffs. Team or scheme? Let's get into it with Q. This is my division mate, and I got a lot of love for Q. I respect what he's been able to do this season, but I think for me, this is an easy call. This is definitely team. You take away this team from Q and you give him literally anybody else, I just don't think he has the same success. I have my reasons that we can get into it a little bit more, but that's where I want to start off with this. I say team. What do you guys think?
Interesting, man, because the Chargers did start out, really good. In my opinion, at least.
Oh yeah.
I think that while his defense may be a factor of team, being able to still run the ball with Melvin Gordon like he does is still pretty impressive for me. So, I'm kind of
2 MVPs.
2 MVPs, and I think he broke the rushing record by like 454 yards or something like that. That takes skill, man, in my opinion. I think that we find out, it hasn't necessarily turned out into, playoff success, but I think we find out if Q is for real next year.
Now,
he doesn't have a Chargers team.
I'm not saying that he's not a good player. When I'm saying team or scheme is, I say if you give, like for me, if you give Q a passing team, like let's say the Chiefs, he can't pass. Period. You know what I mean? Like this is the.
I get to be that guy again. I love being this guy. Keep going.
This game is built around running this year. You know what I mean? Like if you have a running back and you know what you're doing, you can be a dominant player. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that has nothing to do with scheme. That has everything to do with you being good at what this year's game programmed for you to be good at. So that's why I can't really see anything scheme. I can't even really tell you what he does scheme wise besides run the ball left, run the ball right. You get what I'm saying? So I totally disagree. On defense, that's a different thing because I think the man plays good defense. He hits you with different looks. And everyone has a star, so I'm not going to say Joey Bosa or DT Bosa was what was winning games for him.
I forgot about DT Bosa his first couple of years, man. He was good. Shout out to Q's defense, man. His defense is tough. Shout out to his defense.
Derwin James out there, he was playing good defense, but just on the grand scale of things, we got other teams to talk about. I can't look at Q as a a coached up type of team.
So you don't see Coach Q. So I'm gonna say this. I think if he had a passing team, if he didn't have a running game he could lean on, based on from what y'all say, maybe he didn't develop it for this Madden. But if you tell me that next year, let's say he could potentially get a passing team that he has to, when it's 3rd and 9, he can't run a dive bounce. He's got to run, a flood concept. I think if Q had a passing team, I think he could do it. And the reason why I say that is because I wasn't here last cycle. So from kind of the tone Q gets at not being a great player, that tells me that Q committed to becoming a great player, great runner. So I think if the pressure was on him to, hey, I either got to learn how to pass the ball or I'm going to be the Cardinals. I'm cracking jokes at myself, but I'll be the new Goose in the chat if I don't learn how to pass the ball. I think Q would learn because he seems to have that level of commitment. That's just what I think. I could be wrong, but from the jokes in the chat, he's really seemed to had. I think it's one thing, like, you lean on the run. Yeah, he does, but why would he not when Melvin Gordon's doing?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
Let me be clear. When I'm talking team or scheme, when I hear the word scheme, I could see your game and be like, oh wow, that was a nice developed play, or oh, I see why he did that. Oh, he was setting that up to then turn and do that. I don't see that from Q.
I'm saying I think he would develop it though. I think if next year he has a passing team, I think by season, if we have 5 seasons, I say 3 seasons he's 500 or better. So the scheme isn't there this season, I agree, but will he have it next season if he has to? From what I can tell about his personality, it would seem like he would develop it. It would seem
I can agree with that. You got anything else to say about this, Z-Star, before we go to the player?
I do not. I was just trying to formulate a player comparison in my head. This is going to be interesting.
For me, he's Ben Simmons. He's good at one thing. Like, he get ball, put head down, go. You know what I mean? Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons, people were saying he's up next. So, as critical as it may have sounded, the things that I said, his counterpart is Ben Simmons. So I'm not talking crazy. This is just what I see.
Okay. I like that comparison. I was leaning towards, it's going to be interesting. Devin Booker. And I say this because just hear me out here. Hear me out. D-Book, he does one thing. He can score the basketball. He scores the basketball very well. He's on a bad team, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's on a bad team, and you know what you're going to get from him every night. You know he's going to give you points. And just like Q is going to run the ball. Now, is Devin Booker going to come out and be my main playmaker? Is he going to run my offense outside of scoring? No, that's why they brought Ricky Rubio in. Just like, is Q going to be able to come out and throw for 250 yards if he needs to? No, but he's going to give you your 150 yards with Melvin Gordon on the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the reason why I'm pushing back against that is Book's going to give it to you all kind of ways. You know what I'm saying? He's going to hit you. He can get you on the drive. He's going to shoot some threes. He's going to get to the foul line. You know what I mean? Whereas Ben Simmons is going to do it one way. he's like Shaq almost. You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen. That's why. I hear you. What you're saying is D-Book is going to score, and he's going to score. And, Q's going to run, and Q's going to run. So, yeah, that's fair. I hear you.
I got Dwayne Wade Flash.
Oh my God! What? Flash is a champion. This dude has been out. He has as many playoff wins as me.
But he's won a division. That's champion. Honestly, when it comes to champion, we only got 2. In season 4, we've got 2. One guy won it twice. The streets is saying that he gave up the last one on purpose. You go deep in the streets on the block, they say he was coming back anyway. So I don't know about that.
You're calling Q Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade does not have a jump shot. He developed one later in his career, and even then, you weren't really worried about Dwayne Wade's 3-point attack. Nobody was. You were worried about Dwayne Wade's quickness. When Melvin Gordon gets the ball, you're worried about the quickness. Is he going to take the 7-yard dive, or is he going to quickly bounce outside? I got him as a flash.
Okay, cool. I'm going to need you to keep it towards current players. Flash is definitely retired, but we will let that slide this time.
Okay, all right, cool. Current players, I'm with you.
Now, I will not speak to this next guy, but he is 42-19 with a 689 win percentage. He has 3 winning seasons. He missed the playoffs going 11-5. That is yours truly, the Kansas City Chiefs. Y'all can speak on me, and I won't say nothing.
I think that. Do you want to go first, Goose, or you want me to just jump?
I wanted to hear this. I want to hear this because this could jar my.
I feel with you. You didn't and going into it. You didn't embrace being the Chiefs. Like, you looked at it as just I'm the Chiefs. Like, they gave me a top team. Like, they probably don't think that, I'm necessarily very good. So you were trying to drift away from what the Chiefs do well. Like, running the football, your concepts weren't Spurs Mike, you weren't airing it out you're still sticking with dumping it down, just playing to game manage instead of just coming out and attacking. Now you've weaponized Patrick Mahomes. You don't care what people think. You have Miko's a superstar, Tyreek's a superstar, and your offense is one of the top offenses in the league, and your running backs are going crazy. I feel that you've embraced your team and built a scheme around them. So, because the Chiefs never had a good defense. That's always been, I can't, even going back, I've never remembered the Chiefs having a great defense. And you've built up a solid defense with them. I think that your scheme, because you've changed, you run verts now, you attack vertically up the field with the Chiefs or whatever, but you don't do it to the point where it's your main focus. You add your own unique flavor to it, and it's made your team even much more difficult to stop. So I think your scheme, because it would be easy for you to just throw 99-yard bombs at Tyreek Hill all game, but you don't do that. You have concepts that you use to create matchups now, regardless of what people say. Goose?
I got him as an over-scheme team. That sounds funny to say, I'm being serious. Because he schemed himself out of what the team was built to do. Because I've been around Mike so long, we talk a lot. It's hard for me to weigh heavy on this because I know Mike is a scheme guy, but the stats say that you're a scheme guy because, you should have been throwing for 5,000 yards, 6,000 yards every season. And not that you chose not to, but you chose not to on purpose, so I got to call you a scheme guy, because that's something that you have shown that you have chosen to do and continue. And it's not a bad thing. I just think, the scheme was there for your team, and you chose to make it work differently. And you still were able to win games changing it up. So it's not like, it's a situation where you threw a game or something. You changed it up and it worked. So, hey, there it is. It may not have worked as effectively as it could, but it worked.
I'll say this: if I could do it all over again, y'all are both saying what I probably should have done. I was being hard headed, saying, why are they giving these guys? I'm still gonna do what I do. Where I should have just taken the team and started putting up in the air and let it fling around the field. It just took me time to kind of learn it. So, yeah, I hear y'all. I want to do my own comparison. So I want to jump in there. When you said Chris Paul earlier, I was like, nah, he's not Chris Paul. I'm Chris Paul. Someone who is a winner, but when it comes to the playoffs or rings and all that kind of stuff, just can't get there, man. That's how I see myself so far, especially with this Chiefs team, man. Just can get there, could win all regular season, but then when it's winning time, Chris Paul disappears, man.
Okay.
Goose, you want to go first? Actually, you go first this time.
Okay, that's fine. I can do that. I was going to dance with Kemba Walker, man. I'm a big fan of Kemba Walker.
That's a slug. Oh, you're a fan of him? Okay.
You don't like Kemba Walker?
I never liked Kemba Walker since UConn, but that's just me.
Oh, my God. This is a different conversation now. Oh, my God.
He's saucy, though. Don't get it twisted.
Kimba's very saucy, man. Kimba's got a decent deep ball, but he doesn't take it a lot, right? That's you passing. He can get to the paint. He scores. He gets busy. And the reason why that's still compared to you is because you don't think of Kemba Walker as a driving, slashing point guard, but he can. And
True.
You have been able to run the ball with backs that nobody really had on the radar. You didn't come out with a superstar X Factor running back. You developed some guys. Like, you developed those guys into threats in the backfield. Like, 3 different backs? I know of 2. I feel like there's a third one I'm not thinking of. So
the first one, Damian Williams, but he's gone now.
Yeah, he's been gone. So that's why I had to give you the Kemba Walker, man. You got a deep ball that you can show when you need to. But nobody is really. But Kemba Walker, like I said, Kemba Walker is saucy. He's gonna give it to you, and so that's what I'm trying to go with the unconventional picks. By the way,
I got one for you. You're gonna have to hear me out on this one. I say Jimmy Butler, and I say this because, Mike, you're known for your hot takes. Like, people say, like you'll come out and say something that people don't want to say. And if you look at Jimmy Butler in Minnesota, you know all about his practice incident where he was cussing the coach out, calling people soft. He's not afraid to say what he needs to. But he went to Philly, and people looked at Philly as Ben Simmons' team, Joel Embiid's team, just like with the Chiefs. You got the Chiefs. People expect you to come out and pass for 5,000
I'm liking where
yards.
this is
You
going.
took the Chiefs. You built it into your own team. Jimmy Butler ended up being the leader for the 76ers last year. He was their clutch scorer. He was locking people down. You were able to find your old mold, and you didn't go with what people thought you were going to do, but you're still effective. And that's my dissertation.
Jimmy Butler. I wasn't expecting that one, but you made me kind of smile with that. I'm like, hey, Jimmy Butler. Okay, I could rock with that.
He's a dog too.
He definitely is a dog. I respect Jimmy. All right, let's move on. Now we have let's see, 38-24 with a 613 win percentage, 2 winning seasons, 3 playoff wins, 2 playoff losses. We got none other than the Raiders, and that's Kurt. This is going to be a good one, man. I think it's pretty simple as far as the team or scheme part. The NBA player is going to be fun to me, but this is all scheme. Kurt took a terrible team just like Cookie. He played great the first season, went on ahead and tanked the second season, and then season 3 and 4, he was back at it. But yeah, he's taken a team, built it to what he likes to do, which is kind of take deep shots and play defense, and I think he's done a great job. What do y'all think?
We talking about Kurt right now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Raiders. You can go first.
I gotta go that Kurt is definitely. I agree with the scheme comment. He has passing concepts. Sometimes it's hard to recognize, when we all think about that tank season. But he obviously has them, which furthermore proves the tank season. But he obviously has something he's working out, whether we respect it or not. We love to crack jokes in the chat. But he definitely knows and sees something. And then even on defense, his defense didn't start out like they are. I'm not saying they were terrible. I'm just saying they didn't start that way, So, I definitely got to put Kurt down as scheme as well.
GM the hell out of that team too. All jokes aside of the tank season, even without the tank, they was gonna still be nice.
Mm-hmm.
My turn? Is it my turn? Kurt is definitely a scheme guy. We know how bad that Raiders team was. And I think that for him to, he got rid of Antonio Brown, but he built up, his receiving core is arguably the nastiest in the league. Everybody's fast, and it's really his offensive scheme might not be the most diverse or crazy thing that you've ever seen, but what he does extremely well. Because even though you think that bomb to Terry is coming, as we saw today, he will catch it on 3 people, or he'll get behind your coverage.
Today, we've been seeing that all season, but go on.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter how you game plan for it. He's taken that team and built it exactly how he wants to, and made Derek Carr a respectable quarterback, even though he did 63 picks. But that's neither here or there. And but yeah, man, what he does extremely well, and that defense isn't bad either. It does what it needs to. So yeah, Kurt is definitely a scheme guy for sure.
NBA wise, and I'll speed it up a little bit. I couldn't really. I got two for him. One is Clay. You know what I'm saying?
You took mine. I was definitely Clay Thompson.
Right? The deep shots and the the way he plays, and then he plays defense. But Clay got a ring, so if we're factoring that in, then I was gonna go Giannis. Just that next dude that's up and coming, plays defense. You know, definitely some people see a championship on the way. Started off from nothing. The Bucks were nothing when Giannis got there. You know what I mean? And now look at him. So those would be my thought process with him.
Yeah, I agree. I say Giannis is a great comparison, but for me, I'm gonna go with Jason Tatum. And if you watch Jason Tatum this year compared to like when he dunked on LeBron,
would that be him beating Mike?
Year in the playoffs, like when he dunked on LeBron that year in the playoffs, like you're like, okay, like he might be something serious. And this year, like he's going. Well, last year he had an off year, and that could be compared to Kurt's tanking season. And then year 3 this year, he's been going crazy. He's scoring in a whole bunch of different ways. He's added new things to his playbook. And although, like, you know what Kurt's going to do, he's added Terry is basically a 99. He has DK Metcalf now, so that's like a new tool. And, you know, he's going to be able to score points on you. And, you know, his defense isn't half bad either. So, you know, I think Jason Tatum is a good comparison for him because he's going to give you points and you know he's coming. So you always have to worry about him. Goose?
I was already on Klay Thompson. If I had to think of somebody, give you a hot take just to rile Mike up right quick. Hadn't won a championship. Defense can give you a deep ball here and there. Consistently, but you think it's lucky. Victor Oladipo.
Okay, that's nice.
Oladipo, yeah, I like that.
The only reason I wouldn't go Depot is people be sleeping on Depot. Like they don't give him the type of love that he respects.
I don't think,
or that he just. Oh, okay, I see where you're going with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think Kurt gets it. Like, I mean, I've had the pleasure of predicting a few. You know, it's some game Kurt win that I didn't. Not just Kurt won. Kurt dominated, and I just didn't see it. Like, what? I'm not respecting this man like I should. You know. So, yeah, Vic Oladipo.
We up now with Burn. Burn is 36-26 with a 581 winning percentage, 3 winning seasons, so winning season every year. And check this out, 5 playoff wins, 3 losses. So he was been able to take his team to the Super Bowl. Team or scheme? Y'all go first. What do y'all think?
You want to kick this one off, Goose?
No, you go first because I got the very unpopular opinion. I know I do, so you run it.
You know, I think he runs the ball. I think he runs the ball extremely well. He built 2 superstar running backs. I mean, when I say extremely well, he does what you need to do to run the ball. You know, like you can get outside, you can make people miss, and with Killings, he's a problem. Like. His stick is good. Like and he'll make you miss in the open field. I think he's in the same boat as Q because they're both not really great passers. And they've passed themselves out of games before. But his front 7 is also deadly. I think he has the best 3-man pass rush in the league, which is crazy to think about how you can consistently get pressure with 3 people. You know, The Colts before Andrew Luck retired, they were Super Bowl contenders, I believe they were predicted to be. But like when you look at the roster, it's just they're not an exciting, flashy team. Kind of remind me of the Indiana Pacers a little bit. Like they have guys that'll get the job done, but you know, it takes a little bit to use them. I mean, as far as team or scheme, he's a run-heavy guy. I feel like I would give him the scheme if he wasn't in such a weak division. Because, you know, he also has his playoff wins, so that means that he can show up and play against better competition, and he has a Super Bowl appearance as well. But I don't know, man. I don't know how well Burn does without superstar running backs, but I don't think it's. I also don't think it's fair to take away like a superstar running back from somebody that earned it, because Nyheim Hines and Killins weren't superstars when they came into the league. So
he built that.
Yeah, he definitely built it. So I'm kind of in the middle here. I can't really pick with Burn.
You want me to jump in here, Goose? So with Burn, I've always been super critical of him, calling him fake and all that kind of stuff, fake money. Because, and to go back to Q, for me, this game is built a certain kind of way. Each year, each Madden, there's something that the game allows you to do
the
easier
meta,
than
quote
others.
unquote.
Exactly. And I just think this year, Q, Burn, whoever else, Mole, too, when Mole was doing it with Cohen, they were just, utilizing what they were good at, and this year's game was built to what they were good at. Because I didn't see anything scheme-wise that, was creative, anything that was like, oh, I see why you did that, or I see why you were working towards that. So that's how I've always felt about Burn. Lately, he's been losing because I think a lot of people were seeing, you stop the run, or if you stop certain types of concepts, he ain't got nothing else for you. But it was never personal with Burn. It was just, I thought I saw through it, and he's proven me right. We'll see if he turns it around, though. But, at the same time, though, he has 5 playoff wins. Ask me how many I got, Goose.
How many you got?
I got 0. Ask me what team I'm being.
What team?
One of the best in the game.
Ooh.
So, what can I really say to what someone is doing and that's successful? So that's just with a grain of salt.
I got you. I like going unpopular. I like to be in that opposite seat, man. Just sometimes. I definitely think it could be a bit of scheme, a little bit to a degree. Am I saying the scheme is great or deep? No, but if I had to give him scheme over team, I'm gonna go unpopular opinion. I'm gonna go with scheme here because I think it takes a level of discipline to know you have a running team and to commit to the run. He's been trying to pass the ball a bit more, and it's not exactly working, so I can't say. But I do think I gotta. I kind of feel the same way about him and Q both, which is funny. If they had a passing team, could they learn to pass if they had to? You know what I'm saying? I feel like his commitment to his development, I just don't see him saying, well, I can't run the ball no more, so I'm done. I just can't see that. He knows he's been a contender. Is he going to instantly just accept not being a contender because he doesn't have a running team anymore? I don't know. Now, I think part of it that I didn't consider, I just thought of, if his defensive side of the ball isn't as good, then can he scheme up a good defensive team? That part I don't know of. I was thinking about that as I was saying this. But I don't know. I don't know that he would be completely out if he had a passing team. Would he just never learn how to pass? I don't know.
Okay. NBA players, I'll let you go first. What do y'all got for Burn?
I got y'all gotta go first. Y'all gotta go first on this one.
Made it to the championship. No ring, but he made it. Inside.
I definitely got one.
Okay, you run yours first because I'm thinking.
So I was going to be what I felt like some would take disrespectful, and I was going to say he was CJ McCollum. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking that's crazy. That's
like
crazy.
a
Second fiddle.
Like, second fiddle, a dude that's good. I mean, he's good. If you put him on his own team, is he an all-star? Maybe. Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Probably would never make the playoffs. It's just a good guy, good player. But I don't want to say CJ McCollum because he's made it to the finals. So I'll level him up just a little bit, and I'll give him Damian Lillard.
Ooh, that's a
Damian Lillard.
Mm-hmm. Logo Lillard.
And if we really want to go there, we could just say he's the trailblazers, period. Just those two guards, those two running backs, that kind of thing. But yeah, those are my two that I would give to Burn.
I like CJ. I actually like CJ a lot.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
I have one. I don't know if it'll apply because he has a ring, but I Kyle Lowry.
That it crossed my mind.
You know,
why do we think Burns a little point guard?
I mean, like if you look at like Kyle Lowry, he's gonna like what he does well. Like, you know, he can play defense and he has a 3-point shot. Like, you know, he's not necessarily the guy you look at like, I gotta like, you know, truly like worry about him, but he'll sneak up on you. Last year against Golden State, he had in Game 6, I think he came out and he hit 5 threes to just open the game.
Oh.
And then he just has years where he just shows up in the playoffs. Like against the Heat in 2016, he had like 51 and hit like a full court shot to send the game to overtime. Yep. Like in the regular season, you're not really too worried about Kyle Lowry. You know, he might have his slumps. And you're like, oh, like what? Like, do we trade him? Do we keep him on the roster? Like, he can't be our number one guy. But as soon as he gets to the playoffs, he's gonna do what he does best, and he's gonna shock people with how he does it.
Say less. I can't. I won't even try to beat that or top that. I don't even have a counter.
That was actually pretty. That was pretty solid right there.
Yeah, that's tough.
Okay, we'll go through these next 3 pretty quickly because now we're reaching teams that are around the 500 area, and the first one is going to be the Bills, and that's Bubba with 36-26, 581 win percentage, 2 winning seasons, and he's gone 2-2 in the playoffs. I think he's gone to the Super Bowl once. So another person who's made it a nice little run to the Super Bowl.
Who are we talking about here?
The Bills. I don't really have much to say about him just because too inconsistent. So I don't know if it's team. It's definitely not team because the Bills weren't that great. So he did build them up. But I just don't really have too many comments on him, man, and I don't know why. So, you know, I don't know. It's just been real kind of vanilla this year. Just in general, his whole Madden 21 or 20 season has just been kind of just, you know, 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't call it team or scheme. It's just some days he's there, some days he feels like playing, some days he doesn't.
Man,
see, y'all ain't got nothing to say either, man. He's a tough one.
Like like some days he can show up and beat Cookie and, you know, come back from 17-3 deficits like he did against the Bears. Other days, you know, it's just like, oh.
I mean, listen, you sound like he put you to sleep too. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I can't necessarily.
There's really nothing to say about him this year.
Like, you know,
okay,
because he's gone to a Super Bowl, you know.
Yeah, but do we even remember or do we even care? You know?
Yeah, he's coming off a loss to D. Lloyd too. Like no disrespect. I just like, I don't know. It's just nothing that like strikes you immediately.
Yeah.
Can
Unless
we jump
you got
into
something to say, Goose.
Can we jump into the player comparison? Because I'm gonna kill 2 birds with one stone.
Bradley Beal.
Ooh.
Hey, Bradley a bucket, bro.
Okay, so he can be too. But how many wins did the Wizards have this year? What did they really do? I mean, did anyone really care? You know, they were trying to trade him. You know what I'm saying?
Team.
Like,
yeah, they're a terrible team.
Okay, John Wall gets there and then they win. So I don't know. Bradley Beal's who I got for him though. What y'all got?
Goose, you go first.
So, oh man, I wanted to either go first or last, but I never gave you team a scheme because I had a package deal for you.
Okay, I can go then.
Okay, go ahead.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Ooh,
and okay. I say this because, like, when he plays his best, like, he's hitting threes, he's scoring on you in the post. You know, he's taking care of things. But, like, with Karl Anthony Towns, he's not a great defender at all. And he has streaks. It's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, and nobody cares about the Timberwolves. Like, it's like, oh, like, we got Minnesota, like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like either he's gonna show up and go for 50 and 20, or you know, you might get a a 15 and 8 night. Like, you never know.
That's fair.
I'm with it. I like that. I got a question for you. Team or scheme, right? We don't know if it's team or scheme. Patrick Beverley, is he a great defender or a great trash talker? Is he playing actually great defense, or is he kind of cheesing a little bit? And
I think he'd be fouling, bro.
So you see what I'm saying?
Pat.
Is it great defense, or is he fouling and get away with like little cheese question here?
I don't think he's Pat Bev because he don't talk. He don't be doing all that talk.
Pat, we know who Pat Bev is, and we can hold that off. So don't even waste Pat Bev. What are you doing right now, Goose? We talked about Pat Bev already.
Well, the only reason why I said that though was just simply because the question is in the air of if Patrick Beverley is a great defender or if he's getting away with fouling. You know, so I kind of was equating getting away with fouling to a little cheesiness. You know, like
is he DeMar DeRozan or? Like, I mean, because, like, think about it. Like, and I hate to use back-to-back Raptors comparisons, but, like, DeMar he does something that, like, you know, the mid-range game, like, he's still thriving in the mid-range, like, but, you know, like, he was never that guy where it's like, okay, like, if we see him on the roster, like, or we see him before the game, like, he's gonna give us problems. Like, you don't know who you're gonna get. Like, if the mid-range shot not following, like, I mean, he can get to the basket, but like, are you necessarily
have
like
a mental
worried
breakdown
about
and
that?
blow it?
Yeah, like, are you worried about that? Like, is he gonna get cold feet? Like, you don't really know what's gonna happen.
I like DeMar DeRozan.
Okay.
And you know what he does? He does well. Like, you know, but I can't even. Next person.
Thank you. Please, I was waiting for someone to say that. We got let's do these next two together. You got the Broncos at 32-30, and then you got HD at 30-32. So both around the same. What you laughing about?
HD is gonna be funny. I haven't figured it out yet, but it's gonna be a good one.
Oh God.
Yeah. So what's crazy about the Broncos that we probably need to discuss? Fallen went to the Super Bowl in last year's Madden. This year he hasn't even had a winning season.
Dang.
Never been to the playoffs. Hasn't had a winning season, and the Broncos aren't just a terrible team. So I don't know. That was a pretty big fall off. I don't have any player. I was writing down players. I don't have any player for him. So y'all gonna have to leave for this one.
Can I do HD? Can we do it both? Because I got HDs.
Yeah, go ahead, drop them both. Or HD is 30-32, one winning season, been to the playoffs twice, 0-2.
Oh gosh. All right. So I think HD is Al Horford, and I say this. Just hear me out. Hear my reasoning out. here's why it makes sense, right?
All right.
I'm here. So last year, you know, HD had the Vikings. You know, he was okay. Like, just like last year, you know, Al Horford in Boston, you know, he was designed. He was there to help them stop Giannis. It didn't end up working out. So what did the 76ers do this year? They paid him a lot of money to go to Philly and stop Giannis. Just like HD has the Browns. You know, you looked at the 76ers this year, like, oh, like, these guys are going to be a problem. Like, they're all 6'7". The starting lineup is all 6'7" and above. Like, they might make some noise this year. Like, they could, you know, do some stuff, especially in the AFC North. You know, he's projected to win the division, like, and make some noise in the playoffs, because the Browns were a top 5 team to start the game, whether he wants to deny it or not. Now, in reality, Al Horford, he missed like half the season, and they couldn't even trade him because they still think they need him for Giannis. And you still expect HD to do something, but like in certain games, you know, he'll just like, when you think it's clicking, like, you know, Al comes out and hits a couple threes, so like, okay, like, you know, he's back to his Atlanta Hawks form, and then, you know, the next thing you know, he comes out and gets dunked on, like, and then the game's over. So, you know, it's just like, it's nothing flashy, and like, it's just kind of upsetting. Like, Philly paid him that money and they expected him to be just like he was in Boston.
Truth.
But it turns out like he wasn't the player we thought he was. At HD, you won your games this season, And then, you got to the Dolphins game, we were hyped for you, you had the game in hand, and then it collapsed. And then, the Saints, the Saints are the Saints. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, you just got to deal with it, bro, until you prove yourself. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, though.
Where you at, Mike? Because I got one for the Broncos. Or did you have a Broncos, Z-Star?
You can go first.
All right, cool. Because we spitballing at this point, and I came up with the Broncos as I was hearing your beautiful dissertation on the Browns. Broncos. I got Gordon Hayward. I don't know if y'all ever kept up with him.
Yeah.
To me, Gordon Hayward was kind of a complete player. Decent shooting, not a super threat, but you couldn't ignore him. Decent drive, not a super threat, but you can't ignore him. Defensive presence, not a super threat, but you can't ignore him. He goes to the Celtics, and you're like, oh my God, this is about to be the truth. And season-ending injury, maybe even career-ending injury, so.
Nah, he came back. He's doing good this year.
Yeah, no, he's doing good, but I think that as an athlete, former athlete, I should say, man, them injuries, even if you come back hooping, it's still in the back of your mind. You know what I'm saying? You lose, especially with all the young talent coming up now, the speed of the game. I'm not saying he's not still hooping. I'm just saying if that injury don't happen, this season before it ended would have looked even better for Gordon Hayward. But he was I think Gordon Hayward was a complete package. Once again, I tried to go unconventional. Somebody that was a threat. If you ignored him, he was a threat from every aspect of the game. When I look at the Broncos team, whether it be passing, running the ball, the pass rush, or even the defensive backfield, which benefits from the pass rush, if you ignore any part of the Broncos, you could walk home with an L. So that was why I said that.
Do you want to do both of yours? I have one for Broncos. Now that
I don't have anything for Broncos, but for T,
I'm gonna go.
I'll give T like Marco Bellinelli or some shit. So
is he a current player?
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead. I ain't got nothing for T. I ain't really messing with T.
For falling, Kevin Love.
Ooh.
And so Minnesota.
Kevin Love on Minnesota, yeah.
Minnesota Kevin Love was going crazy. Like I didn't even really watch basketball back then, but I knew Kevin Love.
Back then, that was just a year ago. Okay,
I started watching basketball in 2006. All right, and then even then, like I won't even really.
Hold on.
Wait, but you was ready to argue. But you was ready to argue, Mike. Come on, bro.
No.
I can't believe I defended you on that.
Here's where y'all gonna go left with this. Like watching isn't like I'm actually paying attention to what's going on. That didn't really, like me watching games on TV, that didn't really occur till like 2011, 2012. But that's not the point here. Kevin Love, he was a double-double machine. Like he's 20-15 every night, at least, following when he had the Seahawks every year, at least NFC Championship. Mm-hmm. When he got the Broncos, just like when Kevin Love went to the Cavs, and he's not used to, having to play the role of, okay, like you're not the main guy. Just like in the AFC West, like the division got a lot more competitive, like, and the stats have gone down. I mean, like when he was with Cleveland, he's still with Cleveland now, but when the Big Three was there,
we get what you're saying.
The Big Three was there, like you knew, like, okay, like Kevin Love can, heat up and give you something. Like he can win a game for you, but at the same time, like, it was a lot of pressure on him he had to hit those corner threes. Like Fallen has to come out and win games because he went to Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? He won it. Did he win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, he beat Nat.
Yeah. So, you have those expectations. Like, okay, like you were 2010 here, you have the best player in the league with you and another young point guard. Like, why are you not producing? You know what I'm saying? Like Denver, you had an incredible defense and you built your offense, so what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like a question mark. Like, why was he as good as we really thought he was? Or is it just something else that's factoring into it?
I like that. Kevin Love. That was solid. So that's the AFC. Everyone else, we gonna have to pass on you, man. So you got to win some games. So that's the Patriots, the Jets, Steelers, Texans, Jags, Titans, Ravens, and the Bengals. I mean, Ravens. That's Jordan. I mean, not Jordan. That's LeBron, because that's Mole over there. So
we got Lakers in the purple and gold. Ooh.
Yeah. So we'll leave Mole out of this for now. So,
we know who he is.
We got the NFC coming up next. We'll do that on the next episode. So
I look forward to the breakdown of the Cardinals, man.
Like,
who would you consider Goose
Michael
to be?
Peaches.
About that. Yeah, right. About that. Jack Haley. Well, that might be too low. Anyway, go ahead.
Boy,
that's way out there.
Get your wheelchair for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, hey, y'all know what we do. It's your boy Gooseneck, man. All my users out there, get those sim scores in. Make sure you get in your content, get them points. Be active in the chat so you can get your dev welfare. I heard them dev stimulus packages is going out. That's what I heard. Got Mike and man, how in the world is Mike and like Nat even in the runnings for DevGen? Like they shouldn't even be. Those teams shouldn't even be included in that little.
For the record, I didn't get it.
You shouldn't even have came up for you, man.
Just saying.
You got a 99 overall team, but
93.
Yeah, it's close enough. But yeah, guys, make sure you get in, man. We love it, PML family. We love y'all. We know it's always great. Make sure you check out the episode, share it with your friends, man. Keep listening, tune in. Make sure you support our content creators. Your boy trying to level up on the Twitch game, man. Make sure you check out Sports Gamers Online. Check out Deloitte TV. Make sure you check out It's Your Boy Cookie Boy, or it's Cookie Boy 17. But yeah, man, thank y'all for being here. You know what we do. We love y'all. We appreciate all the listens, man. We keep doing this for y'all because y'all keep showing up with us in great numbers. So that's awesome. But the music's coming on. We going to get out the studio. Mike, say something.
Yeah, I'm going to holler at y'all.
That's what's up. Well, you heard it here first. Mike is going to holler at you. Oh, Z-Star's back.
Oh yeah, week 16 is gonna be a big week around the league, man.
Here we go.
Make sure y'all tune in. It's gonna be a great week.
Oh, I thought you were telling people to show up. You telling the viewers to show up. Okay.
It's gonna be great, man.
I heard the ratings. TNT contacted me about the rolling out the Pocket Bowl. So
it's coming up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big one, man. It's Lord's instrument, bro. That's all I'm saying is I have an opportunity to be an instrument. And I'm going to do what I need to do, whether it be playing the tambourine or whatever it takes. I'm going to play that instrument, sir. You better show up in my Z-Star voice. Boys better show up. That pretty much guarantees a loss if I say that. Get us out of here. It's your boy GooseneckxGamer, man, rolling out the Pocket Podcast from PremierMadden.com, Premier Madden League. We are out.